Part two coming up. Ooh, it's a lot. We're gonna continue with the questions. And where was I? Hey, welcome to Tumo Sees the World. I wanna answer questions that I think are super, super incredible for travelers, right? Whether you're trying to get to know a traveler or you just want to know about your new friend while you're traveling. Let's jump right into it. I've got 150 questions. I might not answer all of them, so for me it's just going to be switching through the 3 lists that I have. What was the most expensive trip you have ever taken? Ooh, most expensive trip has to be Hangzhou. Yeah, the flights alone, just the flights before everything else, the flight was quite expensive. And then, yeah, it was definitely Hangzhou. And then, what is the cheapest trip you have ever taken? Going to Ventimiglia in Italy. So, like when I was in France, I was living in Menton, which is like a border town. Like it's really close to Italy, but it's so close that you just hop in the car and you just drive across the border, and there's no border check. You just next thing you know, you're in Italy, and you're eating all you can eat sushi. Okay, it's very weird, right? Like, and yeah, that 9.99 euro sushi unlimited is worth it. Definitely worth it. Have you ever lived abroad? Of course, I've lived abroad. I've lived in India and I've lived in France. I don't count China because it was such a short time, but like technically, I love living abroad. What is your favorite dish from around the world? Okay. Whenever this question comes at me, I answer with my favorite all-time dish, which is bogobe jwa lerotse with seswa. This is a Tswana dish. But outside of that, I think for me it is a sweet and sour pork, because wow, I mean, bringing those two together, sweet and sour together, and then pork, oh my goodness, that is absolutely delicious, and I love it. Where's the furthest you have traveled on your own? The furthest I've traveled on my own was definitely China, because I think that was like 12,000 kilometers away from home. And that was the furthest I've traveled away from home. Yeah, so I guess that's it. What's the scariest thing that's happened to you while traveling? It's quite crazy, because like it wasn't because I was in danger or anything, but the scariest thing for me was jumping off of a cliff in Rishikesh, right? So right after my 24th birthday, I decided, you know what, I've wanted to bungee jump for such a long time. I'm going to do it this time, because I had backed out quite a bit. Because yeah, as much as I'm an adrenaline junkie, there's that moment right before you jump where you're like, oh my god, I'm gonna die, right? Because your body's programmed to see that, right? To protect you from that. And then I just jumped. And it was about the scariest thing that's happened to me while traveling. Yes, and it was voluntary, because I'm an adrenaline junkie. What can I say? Ooh, I love this. Which songs are on my travel list? Okay, so I have to say Lucas Graham, Take the World by Storm. That is my all-time favorite travel song, right? The Script, Superheroes. Absolutely incredible. My god. Sauti Soul, Live and Die in Africa. That is definitely my all-time go-to song, because it reinforces this trip that I'm on to experience the African continent as much as possible. So for me, it's like the other songs, I just like them because like it was a party scene and I was in a different country. So they're not really travels, not on my travel playlist though. What is your favorite airline to use? I have to say there's big ups to you, Ethiopia Airlines. Absolutely incredible. Listen, it gets the job done, right? You get to where you're going. Ethiopia Airlines can get you anywhere. Like literally, Ethiopia Airlines flies to Botswana, right? Botswana, a country of 2 million people with very few international traffic. Ethiopia Airlines gets here, so it's the best damn airline that you can find, not just on the African continent, but anywhere in the world. What's the best Instagram photo you've ever taken on vacation? So, I mean, oh my god, there's so many, but my favorite was I got to Bratislava. I'm at the bus station and I see this graffiti. So everywhere I go in the world, I'm looking for graffiti. I'm always looking out for street art because I love street art, right? So I'm in Bratislava and I see this little piece of artwork that says, "I write because people don't listen," right? And it's being written by this little penguin. I'm not sure what that was. But yeah, that's my absolute favorite Instagram picture. I write because people don't listen. People don't listen anymore, man. Which travel blogs do you follow? Oh my goodness, I follow so many. Most of the travel vloggers that I follow are African travelers, right? And also, I mean, a couple of other international travelers as well. But like, what am I? Definitely Miss Trudy, the African traveler. Go Pari. I used to pronounce it as Go Pari. I'm not sure if that's it. Oh damn, I might be mixing it up. But like, yeah, I still pronounce it as Go Pari because, like, yeah, I mean, I don't know. Yeah. I don't know. I'm not sure. I'm just gonna inbox her and be like, "Yo, how do you pronounce your name again?" Yeah, Hopari Travels. She's from South Africa. Then internationally, Drew Brinsky, of course, right? Like, cause like he's doing exactly the thing that I'm doing. And then there's like the Catch Me If You Can. I love Nabongo's. Like I follow everything that she does, every single thing she does, because she's an inspiration. As an African, getting to be the first black woman to do what she's done, that's absolutely inspirational. And that's a good inspiration, not just for young girls, for like just young Africans growing up knowing that you too can see the world. You know, you can experience the wholesome glory of the universe. Okay, I love this question, right? What's the best Airbnb you've stayed at? So the best Airbnb I've stayed at has to be this little place in Venice, right? I can't even remember. Oh yeah, we were just yeah, I just gotten back from a little short trip to Germany, and then we went to Venice with my girlfriend at the time, and that was actually incredible because the place was really nice. And this was the first time I'd ever visited Venice. Actually, it was the first time she visited Venice. So, you know, it was just an amazing experience. I think it wasn't even the Airbnb itself, but it was just being in Venice and just like, you know, you open the window and you look out, you're like, whoa, okay, we're floating on water. This might just get super exciting place. I think that is the best Airbnb experience I've had. I have to also mention this Airbnb experience I had with this lovely host in Johannesburg. Her husband and her, they hosted us so well that actually I don't have a problem just going back there just to stay there, not to just do anything in Joburg, but just to stay with them because they were just amazing hosts. Yeah, okay. I just keep adding on to these questions, don't I? How much of your finances do you set aside for travel? Almost 100%. Every single thing that I do to earn money and every bit of money that I get goes towards traveling. Everything. If I am saving money, it is so that I can travel later. If I'm investing money, it is so that I can travel later. Everything is completely devoted to travel. Yeah. So I guess maybe it's 95% because like I'm not always on the road. Do you have friends from around the world? Yeah. Pretty much I would assume that there's no country in this world that I'd go to that I wouldn't have a friend. Somebody I met somewhere traveling. Literally anywhere. The bigger countries, there's just way too many friends, right? Like China, for example, way too many people I can just call on and be, hey, I'm in Shanghai, where you at? Yeah, pretty much everywhere. South America, the whole of the African continent, literally everywhere. Yeah. So I got, hashtag global friends, hashtag globetrotters. Anyway, how often do you travel? Pretty much travel perpetually, so I'm on the slow travel experience. The trip to see the African continent is actually incredible because of that. Right. The trip is mostly incredible because I mean it's gonna take me up to like 14, 15 years to cover all these countries because I'm not just doing 2 week vacations here. I'm actually getting into the thick of things and living with people in these places. How else are you gonna know about Kenya if you don't live with Kenyans? You know what I mean? So for me, that's one of the most important things about what I'm doing. Just the fact that I'm always traveling, constantly. What do you pack in your suitcase no matter where you're going? What do I pack in my suitcase no matter where I'm going? It's always gonna be the camera. Before I got the camera, it was always like I just always had to have a smartphone with a good camera, and my hiking shoes again, my laptop because working on the road, editing on the road. What is the most beautiful animal you've ever seen? The most beautiful, man, it has to be a zebra. Oh my goodness, I just have this obsession with zebras. It's got nothing to do with that zebras are the national animal of Botswana. It's just the fact that zebras are just incredible animals. I mean, how strong they are, and just also, I mean, they should be a weird animal to exist, but damn it, they exist, right? Like they're just like, oh my goodness, it's really beautiful. Yeah, I have an obsession with zebras. Not the national football team of Botswana because they lose so much. Has a certain location ever taken your breath away? Why do you guys keep bringing me back to this place? It's Plattenberg Bay, Robberg National Reserve. Is it a national park? National Reserve. I think it's a reserve. Robberg Reserve. I think it's a reserve. This place just, I mean, it has completely blown me away to the point where I always think about it. It's a place that's always at the back of my head because of just how incredible it was. But more generally, I'd just say if there's just a lot of water and there's a beach, I'm fine. As long as I'm on the beach, I'm happy. I'm very happy. Where do you wish you were right now? Right now, I wish I was in Lesotho. I wish I was getting ready to ski in Lesotho, right? Like, I was just watching a video on TikTok just the other day, and this guy was just going through the slopes, and I was just like, yeah, how I wish. That's just the adrenaline junkie in me. What do you consider the best? What do you consider the best museum in the world? I think the best museum in the world is in drumroll. It's in Addis Ababa, right? So if you go to the National Museum of Addis Ababa, it chronicles the beginning of human existence, right? So I mean, a lot of people have learned about how, oh no, human beings come from this East Africa. Yeah, so before Homo sapiens like us roamed the world, there was a Australopithecus afarensis, I think. Yeah, I think that's what Lucy is. And this museum holds that. I mean, of course, it's a replica because they can't just display the original there, the original remains of Lucy. And yeah, this is where all of the human genes in existence right now gets traced to, and I think that is a pretty badass thing. It's a massive fact, especially now in global racial tensions. It's good to remember that we're all one, literally. Like our genetics are literally the same. But where have you never been yet but have always wanted to go? Where have I never been yet and have always wanted to go? I think for me it's gonna be Lesotho. I busted my knee on my way to Lesotho. Actually, I was supposed to be leaving Cape Town the following week to go to Lesotho, and then my knee got effed up, and then I had to come back home because free medical care, whatnot. So yeah, in the end, it was just ridiculous like that. Lesotho is the place. I'd love to go to many other places, but Lesotho is just like, I feel it calling my name. Where's the best hotel you have ever stayed at? Where's the best hotel I've ever stayed at? The best hotel I've ever stayed in is Hotel Oz in Nice. Alright, so I get to this hotel and I was supposed to, they had a policy, nobody stays longer than 2 weeks, but I just moved out and I was looking for a new place, and I thought I'd just be there 2 weeks while I was looking for a place. But the harder I got to find a new place to stay, the more I just said, hey, this place is nice, it's comfortable, I'm very friendly with the staff here, I was just like, okay, I'm just gonna stay here. And yeah, I stayed there for about 6 months? Yeah. And it was one of the most incredible experiences because I made really good friends with the workers there. There was this guy, Tino, especially Tino. Shout out to Tino because he was a really solid guy. Yeah. So yeah, that's the best place. Hotel Oz in Nice. Have you ever been skydiving? No, I haven't been skydiving, but I intend on doing it. And I intend on doing it in the Makgadikgadi because the Makgadikgadi salt pans are absolutely beautiful. Now imagine them from up above. Just like, wow. And apparently they might be the Garden of Eden that everyone's searching for. Prehistoric lake stuff. Have you ever been scuba diving? No, I've never been scuba diving. Was it? No, okay, that wasn't scuba diving, no. But like, yeah, we had wetsuits on. We're swimming with seals. So like swimming with seals was close enough to scuba diving. But I'd also love to scuba dive, especially in those blue waters of the Maldives. I see you. Have you ever been mountain climbing? Okay, not necessarily mountain climbing, but like, yeah, I hiked up a mountain, like many mountains. Oh, the Himalayas. I miss the Himalayas. It's one place I'd really, really get back to. The mountains of India are calling me. What do I love the most about traveling? So for me, it's just the newness of everything, right? Everything you encounter is completely far removed from everything that you've seen. And that's exactly, I mean, the way that changes your perspective, right? Like, so you've heard stories about Ethiopia, right? If you ask most people what Ethiopia is like, what they will say to you is just what they've seen in the media, right? Which is just bits and pieces of a much bigger puzzle. And that's what I like about traveling, the perspective that it gives you. It gives you a much bigger perspective than just being in one place for the rest of your life. The perspective you get by moving to a completely different place where everything is different. What do you like the least about traveling? What I like the least about traveling is, yeah, not having my family there. I think that's the one thing that whenever I think about it, I'm just like, you know what would make this great? You know when you see a moment where like your cousin or your friend or your mom would just enjoy, but because you're a solo traveler, they're not there to enjoy it. But I mean, it's absolutely incredible. It's absolutely incredible to see things that the people you care about would love, and of course you share it with them, right? Like you send them a picture or video. You're like, hey, wish you were here. That's what I love the least. But I guess I love it though, because it reminds you of the people that you really care about. It's a double-edged sword. What's the most fearless thing I have ever done? Whew. Gotten. Oh my god. The most fearless thing I've ever done is gotten out of the car to dig out the car in the middle of the Safuti, right? This is one of the biggest national parks in this whole country, in Botswana, right? And we got stuck, and I could see this hill, and I remember just thinking at the back of my head how leopards might love to be in the hill somewhere, just overlooking this stupid guy who comes out to dig the car out. I was like, hey, if anything, I'll just leave the window open. I'll jump through the window. I don't know why I thought I would be faster than a leopard. So I just figured, you know what? I'll just jump through the window. I'll just do it. And yeah, that was, I mean, in retrospect, nothing happened. But in the moment, like, my heart was just literally jumping out of my chest. I was like, I'm gonna dig the car up, but like, whew. And we got rescued, so everything went well. But like, that was just like badass. That was really, really badass. Yeah. Okay. I think that's it. That's 50 questions. Okay, let's say 49 because I didn't answer the other ones.